Hey guys, Sam here, and welcome to another edition of Sam Talks. Now, since we are in the month of love, I decided to make another romance-centered video. But instead of making another crushes video like I did before, I'll be rating all the different romances from one of my favorite video game franchises, Mass Effect. For the last few years, I have become more engrossed by the Mass Effect franchise. And you can thank the Legendary Edition for that, which I do recommend getting if you wish to see a more polished and complete version of the trilogy, which includes all the DLC too. Simply put, I have become a Mass Effect fan. I enjoy a lot of the characters, the different worlds, all the choices you can make, the combat, the drama, the writing, the comedy, the tear-jerking moments, and yes, the romances. In this trilogy, technically, there are a total of 17 different romance options you can choose from. A couple of them are flings, some can end in tragedy, and a few can last throughout the course of the series. So today, I'll be looking at every single one of them, and give you guys my personal opinion on all of them. The keywords being personal opinion. If some of you enjoy some of these romances that I don't enjoy, that's fine. If there are romances I like but you don't like, that's fine too. This is mainly for fun. It will give you people insight into what I personally like in a romantic partner and which romances I went for when I played the games. For every one of them, I will rate them as either great, good, decent, meh, or no. Simple as that. So, let's not beat around the bush. These are my thoughts on every single romance in the Mass Effect series. I'll start off with the short romances, the flings mainly. The worst one is Morinth. She is literally a serial killer who uses pleasure in her biotic abilities to kill people. If you decide to keep her alive and have Samara, who you recruited and has sworn allegiance to you as a Justicar according to her code, die because of your choices, you can either have Morinth take her place throughout the rest of the game, or she can kill you. The only reason why someone would go for this option is if they are a whack job. Other than that, this is the worst option in my eyes. She is meant to be someone you try to stop. Plus, even when she can replace Samara, there's nothing else to her character. Well, other than the fact that you will allow her to try and kill others for the sake of pleasure again and again. Bottom line, she's a no. A big, fat, and easy no. The next romance is the only one where your partner cheats on you with someone else. Yeah, you know who I'm talking about, Mass Effect fans. Jacob Taylor. Now, I'm gonna be honest here. I don't really hate this guy like other fans do. I understand his faults, but I didn't think he was that bad. Did he have cheesy lines when you try to romance him? Yeah. Is he not as interesting as the other characters? To me, yes. But there are some things I like about him. He was a decent squad mate to take with on missions, has a bit of an interesting backstory with him being a former Alliance soldier trying to make a real difference by joining Cerberus. He can have witty lines sometimes, has to deal with a father he thought was gone, but was actually in charge of some brainwashed cult. It's a long story. And I do like how he develops into a savior of Cerberus refugees in the third game. Plus, he manages to find someone to love and make a child with. That is sweet. Unless you romanced him first. Yeah, like I said, he's the only romance option that cheats on you in between games. This creates some moments that are, awkward to say the least.
What's up?
What's up? Good to see you. Like nothing ever happened. Forgive and forget, is it that simple for you?
What's wrong? But I thought... Shepard, seriously. I thought we were good. What the hell? I probably deserve that.
Honestly, I just prefer him as a friend. You keep him as a friend, he's not that bad. He's just not as interesting as the other squad mates you have. And honestly, the only reason why he's not my least favorite is because he doesn't try to kill you like Morinth. That is a plus I can give him. But still, I have to give him a no. Next up, Diana Allers. Honestly, she's the first meh. I don't think she's that pointless. She does give you a few war assets. Her interviews can actually have a positive impact on the allies you pick up based on your answers. She does get a few funny moments with the squad, and she can be into either male or female Shepard. So there is that. But I will admit, it probably would have been more interesting if Khaleesi Al-Jalani was brought onto the ship. Or heck, even Emily Wong from the first game would have been a better option. At least they both had some character. I'm not saying ours is awful, she's just not that interesting to me. Like I said, she's the first meh. Next, Javik. I like Javik as a character personally. Can he be cold? Sure. Is he better as a comrade than a love interest? Definitely. The only reason why this is an option is if you're not with anyone else as female Shepard, which could make you sleep with him at that party during the Citadel DLC, which I will admit is pretty funny.
Turns out there is one thing primitives are good at.
Not a word.
The shame in Shepard's voice and body language. Well, at least Javik admitted primitives are good at sex. But yeah, there's nothing else there. He does have an interesting and sad backstory, he does have some badass moments, and he is certainly unique compared to the rest of the squad. But would I want him as a romance option? Not really. I'll just give him a meh. James Vega. I honestly like James. He gets some funny moments, he can be quite the badass, and he does give some very interesting nicknames to the rest of the squad. For male Shepard, it's Loco. For female Shepard, it's Lola. And for Tally, it's Sparks.
Sparks?
Yeah, you've got lights in your... and you're kind of small and jumpy. It just came out.
But would I have him as an option for romance? Not really. The only way you can get with him, which is just a one-night stand at the party like Javik, is if you keep flirting with him as female Shepard. It doesn't really go anywhere though. James even admitted that dating life and military life don't mix well with him. But if you have Ashley around, the two of them start to have a fling going. Honestly, I think they deserve each other more than Shepard and James do. I just see James as a comrade, and one hell of a soldier. He's a fun guy, but he's not a go-to option for romance for me. He's a man. Thane Krios. Now, I know a lot of Mass Effect fans do like these two together. It is sweet, tragic because of how it ends, and Thane is a very unique squad mate to have. He did make Drells cool, brought some very fascinating lore about his species, had a cool voice, was a badass assassin, and he sacrificed his life for someone he didn't know by going up against Kai Lang, even when he was dying from his disease. But I'll be honest here, I find his relationship with Shepard to be overrated. I don't think it's bad, but not only do I not think it's as good as other people say it is, but I'm personally not a fan of him getting with Shepard while he is still grieving over his former lover. I don't know, I guess I'm just not the kind of person who could move on from something like that. Plus, compared to the other romances I'll talk about, it's just not as compelling to me. There are some memorable moments that come from it, but I'm just not a big fan of it personally. So I'll be nice and label it as a nah. Samara. She is a unique individual, a Justicar who follows a code, has been at this for centuries, and has already tried to live a simple life before with kids of her own, with two of them being dead by the end of the series, one because of tragic circumstances and the other because she was a bitch. So technically people have her as a MILF option. Yeah, it's not really for me. She isn't bad, and I do find the Justicar lore fascinating, but I think her personality fits better when I am trying to befriend her rather than romance her. Plus, the only time you can get a kiss from her is in the Citadel DLC, and her life is too complicated to allow some romance in. I just don't think it's really worth it. There are some cute moments here and there, but again, I prefer her as a friend. Just a meh. Steve Cortez. Like with Thane, I'm not a fan of getting with Steve after he has been grieving over the death of his partner, which is his husband. While Thane on the outside looks like he has started to move past it, it takes a while for Steve to move on from his lost love. but I wouldn't call him a bad option. He may not be the most interesting, but he is a cool guy, and unique in his own way. He's calm, laid back, a hard worker, a great partner with James when it comes to comedy, and he's the only true gay man on your squad. There are some sweet moments here and there, but it's just not one of my favorites. So I'll label Steve as a meh. Kaidan Alenko. He's also the other male character you can get with as male Shepard, mainly in Mass Effect 3. But honestly, he is just average to me. He's not bad, but he's not great either. He's probably the most middle-of-the-road option. He does have his own okay backstory. His biotic abilities are great and unique, especially since he's an L2 when you have others that are L3s, and I do consider him to be a better squad mate to take into battle than Ashley, mainly in the first game. He gets some good banter and decent moments here and there, but he's just not one of my favorites. Bottom line, he's the prime example of a meh. Kelly Chambers. She's the yeoman who checks your messages in Mass Effect 2. She's also kind of a psychologist, giving her personal opinions on the other squad mates. She can also be sweet, caring, and nice to talk to. Plus, if you make the right choices, you may not only get some heart-to-heart talks with her and an infamously sexy dance in the cabin, but you can continue the romance in Mass Effect 3 if you not only save her from the Collectors, but also save her from being taken out by Cerberus when she defects from them. She isn't exactly the most interesting out of the main cast, but she is a sweet option. Not a go-to pick for me, so I'll still call her a meh, but it's a very high meh. Ashley Williams. Finally, we get to the first decent one. She does have some similarities to Kaidan, like being an Alliance soldier. You could get with her in the first game, have that split in Mass Effect 2, and then get back with her in Mass Effect 3, but I find her to be more interesting than Kaidan. She has a military family background, has to grow out of her prejudice towards aliens, which you can understand why, based on what she says about her father and what he did during wartime before her. She's confident, feisty, can also be another Spectre like Shepard and Alenko. She's into poetry of all things, and she's voiced by Kimberly Brooks, who also voiced Oracle in the first 2 Batman Arkham games.
Look, if you're fighting a bear and the only way for you to survive is to sick your dog on it and run, you'll do it. As much as you love your dog, it isn't human.
The Batmobile is still parked up outside the intensive treatment building in Arkham North. I've sent you the schematics for the entire island. I've marked key locations like your car.
Thanks, Oracle.
I honestly like her development throughout the games if you save her on Vermeer instead of Kaidan. She will grow to appreciate her alien squad mates, can get some funny moments here and there. I mean, her getting drunk on the Normandy is just priceless, and is a very loyal soldier. Like I said, her and Kaidan go through some of the same story threads, like learning to trust Shepard, almost getting killed by Cerberus, dealing with Udina, and so on. But I think Ashley's journey was more interesting and compelling to me. Plus, Shepard and Ashley do get some cute moments here and there. Though I'm not a fan of her giving Shepard the nickname Hero Man. Just personal preference. Also, I understand that her prejudice can turn some people off. I can totally understand that. She wouldn't be a go-to option for me either, but like I said, she grows as a character throughout the games. Plus, at the end of Mass Effect 1, if your choices are good, you can have her favor the decision of saving the Council, which are alien people, by the way, when someone else would argue to let them die.
We can save the Ascension. Just unlock the relays around the Citadel and we'll send the cavalry in.
Are you sure about this, Shepard? Human casualties will be very high if you send your fleet in now.
This is bigger than humanity. Sovereign's a threat to every organic species in the galaxy.
She does go through a nice arc, and she is more engaging as a character than Kaidan was, at least in my eyes. So I will call her decent. Samantha Trainer. Yeah, she is the only person that only appeared in Mass Effect 3 that I consider to be a decent option for romance. Like Steve Cortez, Trainer is only interested in the same sex. But I'll be honest, she is more interesting and likable than Steve. She's quirky, lovable, a great officer, is smart, manages to save numerous lives with her quick thinking. She can be cute, funny, sweet, is amazing at space chess, always has her toothbrush ready to go, and she has an amazing British accent.
My toothbrush is a Cision Pro Mark IV. It uses tiny Mass Effect fields to break up plaque and massage the gums. It costs 6,000 credits.
Also, the woman who voiced her is Alex Wilton Reagan, who voices the female Inquisitor in Dragon Age Inquisition. Another great BioWare game, by the way. Honestly, if I had that game right now, I would play as her every time. But I digress. Samantha Trainer is such a nice option for female Shepard. These two get some very cute moments together, and if this was a perfect world where Shepard didn't have to die or wasn't severely damaged, she and her would have that lovely home life. With 2 kids and a dog. Yeah, if I was a woman, I'd probably choose her a lot. The only issue is that we only got her in the last game. So that's why I can't call this a good romance option, because I wish we could have gotten more of her. But with what we got, she is a definite decent. A very high decent. Miranda Lawson, the Ice Queen who was designed to be perfect, and in my eyes, is one of the most badass and interesting characters in the series, and my first good romance option. Despite the cold nature she displays, she can be sweet and compassionate, especially when it comes to being there for her friends and her family. Do I wish we could have gotten more of her in Mass Effect 3? Maybe, but she still plays an integral role in 3, and especially in Mass Effect 2. I mean, if it wasn't for her Lazarus project, Shepard wouldn't have been resurrected. Honestly, being in a relationship with her is really sweet. And I'm not just saying that because of her assets.
Nice ass, baby.
She also can be cute, flirtatious, and surprisingly sensitive. If you actually break up with her in Mass Effect 3, not only will she cry, but it is a catalyst that could lead to her death at the hands of Kai Lang. So, yeah, don't break up with the Cerberus cheerleader. In the end, she is one of the most popular romance options in the series. There are plenty of Shepard and Miranda fans out there, and there are even some that think female Shepard and Miranda would be a good pairing. Honestly, I think so too, but we didn't get that because of a lot of, controversy at the time. I mean, they were planning to do that, but it got cut out. So the only way we can see that is through mods. I personally recommend this video right here if you want to see that for yourself, so go check that out. Regardless, I do like Miranda as a character. She goes through her own arc of trying to be her own person, keeping her family safe from her evil father, manages to expose Sanctuary for being a fraud, is the main reason why you catch up to Kai Lang and kill him later, and she is one of my favorite squad mates to have on missions in Mass Effect 2. She's cool, confident, badass, and has a really lovely Australian accent. Oh yeah, she's voiced by an Australian voice actress, Yvonne Strahovski. Plus, Miranda's face is modeled after her. So, with me praising her so much, you might be wondering why I consider her a good romance option rather than a great one. Well, it's because the final 4 options are simply better in my eyes. Plus, as good as she is a little overhyped. Yeah, she is sexy and awesome, but the remaining options I'll talk about are better in my opinion. Bottom line, she is still a good romance. Jack. Now, at first glance, you may think this is a relationship doomed to fail. Jack is a murdering psycho. She's a swear machine, doesn't care about feelings, and if you play as a renegade, you may get a one-night stand with her, but nothing more. But if you mostly played as a paragon, like me, you can actually unlock her personal trauma and lower her defenses. If you simply keep talking to her, encouraging her, try to help her make the right choices, and allow her to realize that being vulnerable can be okay, she will open up to you. She'll go into her backstory about why she doesn't trust people a lot, why she hates Cerberus so much, why she became the killing machine she is, why she has all the tattoos, and so on. Sure, she can be funny and a little bratty, especially when she gets into spats with Miranda, but she is more than that. She does care, she can be sensitive, and when you finally let her just let go and trust someone again, it is a really sweet moment. The romance scene isn't just there to be hot and steamy, it's a confirmation that Jack trusts you and is allowing herself to be yours. And when we get to the next game, she becomes a leader of other biotics like her. She's tough on them and doesn't mince words, but she cares about them, more than life itself in fact. And that all comes from Shepard. It's all based on how you play as Shepard and how you manage to change her for the better. All those reasons and more is why I do consider this romance to be better than Miranda and the others. Hell, an article actually put Jack as the best romance option in the series, just based on how you can make a positive impact on her character. I wouldn't go that far saying she's the best option ever, but she is a good romance option indeed. She can be badass, quick-witted, skillful, a great squadman in battle, sweet when she wants to be, and it is cute when she gets a pet later on. They both deserve each other. In the end, Jack is definitely a good romance option. No doubt about it. Alright, we are now at the last 3 romances. Liara, Tali, and Garrus. I consider all of them to be great, but which one is my absolute favorite? Well, let's find out. In third place is Liara Tassoni. According to some sources, this is supposed to be the canon romance, and I definitely see why. Not only is this one of the most popular and iconic romances in Mass Effect history, but also in video game history. Liara is the Prothean scientist, who later becomes an information broker and finally turns into the Shadow Broker, one of the most powerful people in the entire galaxy. Not only is her design very distinctive and memorable, but she also has a likable personality. She's smart, a little shy, awkward, but also can be quite the squad mate to bring into battle. She wasn't exactly trained to be a soldier, but she does become one of the most powerful people in your squad. Remember when I said Miranda's Lazarus project brought Shepard back? Well, if it wasn't for Liara giving his body to Cerberus, that project wouldn't have gotten off the ground. In fact, you can actually read that journey in one of the Mass Effect comic books. It's quite good, not gonna lie. Anyway, Liara and Shepard, whether male or female, are very compatible together. They both are strong people who make tough decisions in order to get the best result. They both want to change the galaxy for the better in their own ways, and their chemistry is sweet. Can it be awkward? Sure. Are there some cheesy lines? Yeah. Oh, by the way, I've seen some people call some of their lines, or pretty much anything they don't like about this, or pretty much anything in general, as cringy. Guys, cringy is not a real word, and I don't care if it's in the dictionary. It's stupid. Cringe is a real word. Cheesy is a real word. Why not use that? Listen, if you don't think that slang you use is going to embarrass you or make you wonder, why did I say that? Give it a few years. You'll react just like how some old guys who had mullets back in the 80s will react. You'll be like, God, why did I do that? I don't know. Why? Okay. Sorry about the rant. I just needed to get that off my chest. Back to Liara. Despite the cheesiness, the romance is engaging, and it did make me smile. There are plenty of memorable romantic scenes between Liara and Shepard. Their first love scene, which got Fox News' panties in a twist. Their scenes together in the lair of the Shadow Broker DLC, Liara making Shepard's profile in Mass Effect 3, the scene where Liara plays the only song she knows on the piano, their flirtatious dialogue, Shepard comforting Liara after what happened to Thessia in Mass Effect 3, and of course, Liara's final gift for you in the final mission. Now, for me personally, I played the game twice. Once as male Shepard and once as female Shepard. And I've usually gone for the friend route. So when you get that gift, it's still sweet in its own way, but yeah, the romantic version is more iconic. I honestly do love the romance, but I do have a few gripes with it. One, like I said, the dialogue can get a little awkward and cheesy for me. Two, Liara's voice actress, while great in a lot of scenes, wasn't always perfect with the line reads, at least for me. There were a few times I thought another take could have been used for some lines. And third, for some reason, Mass Effect 3 tries to both set you up with her, but also give you an attempt to back away from the romance, even when you decided to romance her from the start. That was a little weird for me. So those nitpicks are why I placed this as number 3. But, make no mistake, it is still a great romance. I mean, being romantically involved with the Shadow Broker has its benefits, and I'm not just talking about the body, it's pretty much everything else. So, in the end, I call Liara a great romance option. Coming in second place is Garrus Vakarian. Yep, I now get why a lot of women go for Garrus. If I was a woman myself, I would have chosen him as well. In fact, when I did play as female Shepard, I did choose Garrus. But let's be real here, how could I not? Garrus has got everything a partner could want. He's supportive, caring, skillful, quick-witted, sarcastic, sensitive, kind, considerate, has an awesome voice, a unique design, has great chemistry with Shepard, is a badass soldier, and most importantly, he's so damn funny.
Did we, break anything last night? I don't suppose you need anything around here. Calibrated. Yeah, okay, maybe I should just stop saying that word, but only if Liara stops saying, by the goddess.
Whenever I went into battle, I usually brought him with me. Not just for the banter, but also for his skills in battle. He is one wicked shot, and you don't want to mess with him when he's pissed. The memorable romantic scenes between Shepard and Garrus are too many to count. Their flirtatious talks about reach and flexibility, Garrus trying to woo her with music in her cabin, Garrus' charming lines, his shyness, his awkwardness, the fact that he gets better at being romantic as the series goes along, the shooting contest at the Citadel, the pretend first date they have, and, of course, the moment where Garrus was able to help Shepard. Shepard, of all people, dance well on the dance floor. Yeah, this moment is amazing for so many reasons. First, it's clear Garrus came up with the idea on the spot. That's pretty funny. Second, Garrus managing to teach Shepard in real time how to tango is really sweet. Third, the music fits so well with the dance. 4, this shot. And 5, Garrus knocking out all the ladies with these lines.
Think a girl would fall for that?
Oh, hell yes. I see you've been putting that reach and flexibility to good use.
You know it. And it gets even better when you try it in bed.
Uh-oh, looks like some of them had an orgasm. Yeah, you can see why a lot of women love this guy. With male Shepard, he's the bestest friend you could ever have. With female Shepard, he could be the greatest lover in the galaxy. Like Shepard said, there is no Shepard without Vicarion. And yeah, their goodbye in the final mission is heartbreaking, man. In fact, that moment actually got Jennifer Hale, the voice actress for Shepard, all choked up.
No matter what happens here, you know I love you. I always will.
Shepard, bye.
Bottom line, for me, Garrus is the best romance option for female Shepard. That reason and more is why he is a great romance option. Well, we've come to number 1. For some of you, you may have seen it coming. For the rest of you, you're probably wondering why my favorite is Tali Zora Voss Normandy. Well, the short answer is, she is so cute! But for the sake of being a professional content creator, here is the long answer. In my opinion, Tali is the most unique squad mate in the series. Not just because of her design, her voice, her species, and backstory, but because you can't really see her face. She's the prime example of not judging a book by their cover. She's a scrappy engineer who you could count on the most, whether it involves a situation with the ship or on the battlefield. Her banter is just as memorable, she's good with a shotgun, her little attack drones are pretty useful in battle, and she was the other person I usually took with me on missions. She's beautiful, selfless, always thinks about helping others, wants to do the right thing for her people, makes it clear that she loves Shepard from the beginning, and when the romantic moments could get too sappy, she manages to make them cute all over again. Her anxiety and shy nature to romance is understandable. With her people living inside their suits, because of obvious reasons, you can see why she would be a real stranger to romance. And despite all the risks like getting an infection or potentially dying, she wants to go for it. And by the end of the series, she can actually adapt and be immune to your touch. So yeah, like she said, still totally worth it. It's the romance you must treat with care. And Liz Schroka, the voice actress, really handles the dialogue and sweet moments very well. But with all that said, she isn't a perfect character either, nor should she be. She does tend to think about others more than taking care of herself. You probably remember the phrase, how can you take care of others when you can't even take care of yourself? She can be awkward. She isn't exactly the greatest field general. I mean, she was in control of 2 squads that were nearly or completely wiped out. I understand that's not all her fault, but she was leading them. And, like Ashley, she has a prejudice against a certain species, the Geth. Yeah, that's right, she can be a little insensitive about synthetics, especially when we bring Legion along for the ride. Of course, she does progress as a character, and learns to respect him in the end. She begins treating Legion like he is a living being, became opposed to invading the Geth, and wanted to find a path to peace. That's good! She learns, she gets better. She goes from being a scared and young Quarian who almost got killed in an alleyway, to being an admiral of the entire Quarian species. And that's quite a journey for her. There are so many lovely moments between her and Shepard. The times they comfort each other when their backs are up against the wall, them trying to figure out how their romance can work, their sweet talks on Rannoch, them watching Tally's favorite vid growing up, and their final goodbye. The goodbye with Garrus is quite emotional, but Tally's goodbye can make you shed real tears.
Don't leave me behind.
I need you to make it out of here alive, Tally. Get back to Rannoch. Build yourself a home.
I have a home. Come back to me.
Ugh, dang, man. Even when you only see her eyes in that helmet, she could still convey so much emotion and personality. Plus, she is also very funny, especially when she gets drunk. Aw, look at her. She is so wasted. But she's also too precious. Now do you see why she's my favorite? She's sweet, she's kind, she's smart, she's brave, she's funny, she's loyal, and she is just the best romantic option to me. Like I said, some of the others are good and unique in their own ways, but anytime I play as male Shepard, I always pick her. Every time. Same goes with Garrus as female Shepard. Also, if you don't choose to get with either of them, they get together with each other. That's just both funny and fitting. Honestly, both are #1 for me, but as a straight guy, Tally is my #1 pick. She's not just a great pick, she is a legendary one. Huh? See what I did there? Legendary edition? Alright guys, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Let me know in the comments below which romance is your favorite. Which one did you choose when you were playing these games? Which ones were some of your other favorites even if you didn't pick them? And which ones were some that you didn't like? Thank you for watching. My name is Sam, and, well, good night, everybody.